Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, babe?
I'm great. Hope you are. Been a while.
It has been a while. That's why we're going to do some catching up. It is May the 4th, but you will not hear Star Wars references on this show. And it's not because, I like Star Wars, but we're just not doing that today. But we do have some catching up to do. So we're going to talk all the way from Easter to Mother's Day. We're going to talk banana ball. We're going to talk NFL draft, basketball players becoming football players, and catch up on some spring sports at Clemson. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of the Greenville Sports Media Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, Greenville Sports Media is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts, the latest articles, and other sports media at greenvillesportsmedia.com. And those guys can also be found on all forms of social media, just like the Fun Fan. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
Yeah, and the official chicken wing provider for the Fun Fans is Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering. The best wings around with 2 locations in the upstate, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. You can find them at ReubenC.com. Reuben's is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans.
You know, it's been 3 weeks since we've had a show, but you know what? It has not been 3 weeks without for me.
I missed you, man.
I miss you too, yeah. I was going to say, I did not go 3 weeks without Reuben's. Just FYI, in case anybody was wondering. So if we go all the way, I
wasn't worried about that. Like, I knew that was not going to happen.
That was not of concern. We had to send the kids this past Friday. Where I look, just go here. Here's the debit card. Run to Reuben's. I'll call it in.
Right.
It's all good. The hamburger steak. You know, we talk about the wings. The hamburger steak and baked potato. It's on point. All right. So more advertising for Reuben's. Can't go wrong. So we're gonna go all the way back. Do we remember Easter? I remember Easter. How was your Easter, Bailey?
It was fun. Saw some family and my mother-in-law and just had a nice day.
Yep. Very good. Yeah, very good. Easter, celebrating the resurrection. All right, but we're gonna talk a little more.
Hey, we didn't dye any eggs because they're too expensive.
It's all about plastic eggs this year.
Yes.
Plastic with the chocolate on the candy on the inside. Those are better anyway.
Agreed.
All right. Speaking of what's better, the banana ball came to Tiger Town. Banana ball in the valley. Did you pay any of that any attention? Let's just ask that way first.
Yeah. Well, yes, no, and yes. All right. So I did, but at the same time, one of the ladies that I work with, her family went.
Right.
She did not have a great experience.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was too crowded.
So it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
It was but this is the first time I've heard of somebody other than the traffic on the way out. First time I've heard somebody complain about the experience. So was it the experience as a whole, or was it just the traffic?
Well, I think there were a number of things. They got there too early. They were cramped in. And I said, hey, it's just like that's how it is when we watch the Tigers play football. You know, Right. It's tight, but I think there was just a lot of waiting around. The concession lines were stupid long. And I just think from her vantage point, which was straight away center field in the opposite corner, they just did not have a great experience. And they did not get caught in traffic because they left early.
The game never moved to their end of the field like it would have in a football game.
Correct.
So, yeah, that could be lots of folks went of course, I don't know, could have taken a survey. Did seem to be a lot of people that don't normally go to Clemson football, which is great, which is fine. And a lot of families, of course, because of the banana ball type of entertainment. So definitely a similar and different type of experience for fans than a football game. But most of the reports I heard were good reports. I was hanging out with some friends, and we watched the majority of it, honestly, on TV. And it was funny. I mean, it was fun to watch.
It's entertainment.
Entertainment, without a doubt. So
it's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
The Harlem Globetrotters meets the Major League Cleveland Indian Major League movie team.
I mean, the stuff they do, some of the trick catches and stuff they do, it's pretty impressive. You know?
Yes.
I mean, it's
those
very similar to the Harlem Globetrotters used to be in basketball.
Yeah, those guys are athletic, that's for sure, and they definitely put on. Most everybody says they put on a great show. It's my impression was that they are very impressed. People would go back and do it again.
Oh yeah.
I personally cut them some slack because I dipped out of the ticket purchasing experience because it brought out the grumpy old man in me to get in the lottery here and then do something else there and then show up online here and submit a number and your picture, but then wait and see if you get. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
Right.
But I heard that was so people couldn't. It made it where like robots or companies or
you couldn't resell them.
Scalpers, I couldn't just buy tickets and resell them. So
somewhat
understandable and hate it for it. I definitely am glad I didn't get caught in that traffic, but we enjoyed it. I was kind of out with the guys. We had a mandate and Jason says, what's a mandate? And I'm like, you don't know what a mandate is? It's like a requirement.
Yeah, it's when somebody tells you have to do something.
Also a play on words there because it was like just us guys were going to go hang out. So anyway, hung out with Jim and Perry and Jason for the first time in a long time.
And you went out and watched Banana Ball.
Well, it was on the TV where we were.
I got you.
We watched the majority of it and talked about it some. So it was entertaining. We could definitely see why some people liked it. All right. So congratulations with the partnership. Oh, one other thing. They're creating a whole league of those teams. Have you heard that?
I have not, but the guy that is the brains behind the operation used to work for the Gastonia Grizzlies, which was like a college summer wooden bat league team. And then he moved on to like the Pelicans at Myrtle Beach, and he's just raking it in.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. I heard that those players, and I don't know, they make like a lot of money, but I heard they make more than like the Greenville Drive and the Spartanburger, those AA type players. So would not surprise me because I don't think they get 81,000 to a Greenville Drive game. That's for sure. But yeah, they're supposedly going to have like 6 or 10 teams, and then they can go all over the place. And they've got like a 10-week contract with ESPN. So of course that's where the money is on TV. So they're going to be getting it big time.
Well,
right, another thing,
there'll be more people at those games than the UFL games. I can tell you that.
Probably you or I will.
Except Dabo was at a UFL game this weekend.
Doing some scouting. Can you come back?
No, he was going to see some Tigers playing in the UFL.
Okay. Well, speaking of Tigers playing professionally, the NFL draft also happened during our hiatus. And I say we, my family, okay, obviously wife and 3 daughters, and they like football enough. And most of them are definitely into Clemson because they all love Clemson. But they get into the NFL draft. It's like the red carpet. It's like the Oscars, the Grammys. They like seeing what the players wear and how they walk up to the stage, and how their family reacts. It's pretty cool. It's a good, some drama TV. And they like it. So we usually watch the first round at least every night. And that was fun. There was definitely some drama with the Shedeur Sanders situation, who finally went, I believe, 144th in like the 3rd or 4th or whatever round. And that was borderline controversial, Bailey. Do you think the Shedeur Sanders situation was a controversy?
I'll tell you what was controversial, the prank phone call.
That was just wrong. That's the world, these kids nowadays, that's all I'm going to say about that, but that was wrong. They're wrong for that.
Well, it cost them.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think his attitude in the interviews and things like that hurt him, obviously. I mean, I listen to sports talk radio every morning and every afternoon, and they've talked about nothing but the Panthers NFL draft and the Sanders thing for weeks.
2 weeks now.
Weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I agree, and that's what folks are saying, and that's definitely a thing. And you've heard it happen to players before. They don't interview well. They don't score. I think they literally give them a test. I don't know.
They do.
They don't score well. They don't interview well, and it hurts them in the draft. The other thing, and I didn't go back and do some huge analysis. Obviously, the first pick was a quarterback, but there wasn't a lot of quarterbacks. We're deep into the draft. Ewers from Texas,
right?
He was a Heisman, type guy at the beginning of the season last year, and he's great, but he's not on my list of the top quarterbacks coming out this year, but he was on the top, and he didn't get drafted until way deep in, I think it was after Shador, and he was supposedly really good.
And it just, obviously, NFL it's a quarterback league. If you got a great quarterback, there's a lot of stuff that goes on at the line of scrimmage. And it's just hard. There are guys that are really good players, but they typically, unless they're just a first round draft pick quarterback, they can take a quarterback whenever.
Yeah.
And they do.
His name escapes me now. The kid from Notre Dame that transferred from Duke.
Riley Leonard.
Yes. I thought he would go way sooner than he did. Teams just weren't grabbing quarterbacks. A lot of linemen.
Well, I'll say this. Cade Klubnik is early predictions to be the number one quarterback coming out, and Nussmeier from LSU is right there with him. So that's game one next year.
Yeah, that's big time.
That will be game day. It's got to be.
Okay. Speaking of, that's not on our script, but perfect segue, Bailey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The first college game day is going to be Lee Corso's last. You saw that, I'm assuming.
I did.
And folks are saying, where should it be? And Clemson LSU is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Some other matchup, just because it's a big-time matchup, is on the list. But Florida State, and, of course, that's where he coached and played, or just coached and played.
He coached at Indiana, I know. He might have played there, but they play Alabama.
Florida State.
I think so, yeah.
That's where people are, well, it's not everybody, but, if you're going to do it for Corso, they're saying that's where you got to have it.
Well,
but
he deserves it.
It wouldn't surprise me. But, yeah, Clemson LSU is definitely going to be one of the bigger matchups to start in the this fall's football season. Segue number 2, speaking of the Tigers and the NFL draft. All right, Bailey's the research guy because this was an easy assignment. I assumed he probably already knew this. Tell us where the Tigers went during and after the draft.
Barrett Carter was drafted by the Bengals in the 4th round, and many experts have said that is the steal of the draft.
I understand.
For the Bengals.
I believe
R.J. Mickens is with the L.A. Chargers in the 6th round. Phil Maffa how about them Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
7th round. And they actually just lost Rico Dowdle, former Gamecock, because he's now with the Panthers. And he carried the ball a lot for him last year. So I would assume he has a chance to make the team.
Right.
And then Brenningstool signed a free agent contract with the Chiefs. So he gets to hang out with
Taylor Swift
and Kelsey. So good for him. But there's a couple more that have not been signed yet. One interesting note is that DJ Uiagalelei was signed by the Chargers as a free agent.
Are you serious? I hadn't seen that.
Well, and that's Harbaugh, and he would probably be okay handing the ball off.
Just hand it off.
They're going to, if you remember Jim Harbaugh, when he coached at San Francisco, they ran the ball, passed it when they had to. And, but free agents are a long shot.
Yeah.
And I think that would be more like a UFL type quarterback. But that's it. The Panthers have some great news. Hunter Renfrow is back in football with the Carolina Panthers.
Big time.
And that, we won't go into details, but he's dealt with some health issues that have been, it's hard to play football with some of the health issues he's had. It's not physical. Well, it is physical, but it's nothing structurally wrong with him. It's a digestive intestinal type thing. So
it's hard to do anything when you're having digestive intestinal type problems.
Well, when you're having tummy issues, you need to stay close to the house.
That's right. Tummy.
Right. And
Well, that'll sell a few extra tickets probably, at least at first.
Yeah, so he's in I love this phrase, crowded receiver room. So the Panthers actually have some good wide receivers, and they coming back, and they drafted Ted McMillan from Arizona with their first pick. So he's like, he could make the team, or he could be on the practice squad, or he could go up and down. You know how that goes.
Right. Well, good luck to him. Look
That's
forward
right.
to it.
What a guy.
Yep. And then speaking of awesome guys, the only two-time guest on the Fun Fans podcast here, your former athlete, Clover Blue Eagle. Tell us about Jalen Lane.
Well, I don't know if Jalen had a workout at our stadium about a week and a half before the draft with the Ravens. They came into town, and they brought a pro punter in, and he was catching punts and things like that. But if you go to Washington Commanders, if you just Google Jalen Lane, Clover High School class of 2020, all-time leading receiver, yada, yada, yada. He is like the Commanders are super excited about getting him. And there's a lot of experts that say he could be the steal of the draft. So we're very proud of Jalen. I talked to him that day. The Ravens were here. He was excited, getting ready. I talked to his dad. I saw the video on Facebook of when he was drafted, which was pretty cool. And, he's a Blue Eagle, and we're proud of him. And I grew up a Commanders fan, so, I pull for the Panthers and the Commanders. And so it'd be great.
Definitely pulling for Jalen. 4th round, is that right? To the Commanders?
Yep.
Very good. Out of Virginia Tech. He started at Middle Tennessee.
Correct.
And before that, of course, the Clover Blue Eagles. And, his main claim to fame is being the only two-time guest on the Fun Fans podcast.
That is, and possibly 3rd. You never know. Before he gets too big time, we can get him back on here.
Yeah, that's right. Or after.
When he is big time.
Yeah, and he's a great kid. He's a great kid for sure. So best of luck to him. All right, speaking of, well, there's no segue for this one.
Boom, still cooking,
Scheff.
baby.
We're gonna be cooking at the tight end spot in football. So what I think it's awesome, and mainly because we've had players on here and former players on here, and you pointed out that they all say there's just something about Clemson. There's something about Clemson. And when I talked with, or not what I talked with, but I heard, Dabo, they had a little Greenville IPTAY meeting thing, and I saw a video that the Hat posted, and it was Dabo and Brownell talking about Scheff going to, staying in Clemson. They were talking about the boy just loves Clemson.
Right.
And I believe it.
Right.
And he's an athlete, and I'm sure he played football in high school.
Right.
And I mean, whether he'll play much or at all, he's definitely somebody that any college coach would say, yeah, you can come put pads on in my team. So what do you think about it?
Well, I'm going to tell you what Coach Richardson, the tight ends coach, is thinking. One, they're young. The tight end room is young.
It's not crowded.
And he has hands. He's used to going and getting rebounds. He's used to going up and catching the ball at its highest point. And he's 6'8".
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm going to predict right now on this show.
Here we go.
Right now.
Hit record.
That this time next year, we may be talking about him being drafted as a tight end.
There you go.
Here's a little known Clemson fact for you. Back in the mid-'80s, there was a basketball player named Murray Jarman. He was 6'6", but he had this unbelievable athletic ability, could jump out of the gym. He had not played football ever. He got drafted by the Denver Broncos.
So it can happen.
It's going to happen.
Hey, if you can play, you can play. And if you've played one sport for however many years, that don't mean you can't jump out there and play another. That's for sure. Just like we're talking about, not Sanders, but his teammate from Colorado and with the previous team as well. He got drafted 2nd, and everybody's wondering whether he's going to play Travis Hunter, whether he's going to play offense or defense or both. And if he can get out there and produce on both sides of the ball, they're going to put him out there on both sides of the ball. If you can find somebody that can play, then you're going to put them out there. Just like the Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, how they were playing football and baseball because they were that good. So
right. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm just telling you, Shefflin would have been a Division I football recruit had he chose to continue with football.
Right.
So good for him.
Dabo says he's got a good foundation. He's got a good strong butt. So
well, he needs to stop calling Dabo in interviews and calling Coach Sweeney.
Okay, he probably will very quickly. But they'll get him in the way. Their weight program for football is going to be a smidge different. That was also pointed out by those two coaches. So I look forward to seeing that. And if nothing else, once again, that'll be a fun fan moment. All the fans will be like, "Woo!" They put him out on the field just to see what if he ever catches a ball. It's going to be something else. And if he turns
what if he's the best tight end on the team?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's great. It's awesome. And it goes back to, you and I know it, and people that went to Clemson know it. And if you've never been there, you got to go visit. There's just something in them hills.
It cannot be explained to the general observer. And my son's going to feel it, and I'm so excited about that.
Right. Coming up. We're about 6 weeks away, right, Bailey?
Yep.
All right. Our kids get the opportunity to start early. They have no idea how much of a blessing that is. Move-in day, June something or another. We'll worry about that later. What's coming up before that is Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is this Sunday, a week from today. So we won't be on here. We'll skip that week. That'll get us back on track. Y'all have big plans. We made plans how do you make plans for Mother's Day? Yeah, I mean, you have to ask a mother, but your wife's a mother and your mother's a mother, and so you got all these.
Her mother's a mother.
Yeah, all these mothers.
Well, it's tough. I know we'll be. It's senior recognition day at church Sunday, so we'll be there, and then I'm assuming we will. I hate to say, Mom, what you cooking for lunch? It's Mother's Day, but if you really want to know the truth, I'll probably cook lunch here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time for the dads and husbands to do the cookout thing.
Never mind. I cook all
It's
the time.
never a bad time for that, yeah. But it's always a good time. But you know what?
We're eating.
Definitely gonna be grubbing. I just hope we're gonna have a good time with our mothers, and we will not have a show. But you know what you can get to make it through 2 weeks without the Fun Fans? A little W, get a little energy. Go to w.gg, enter promo code FUNFANS, get 10% off of your Jitterless energy drink. All right, so we're going to kind of wrap it up with how our spring sports are doing. The baseball team, so it's been 3 weeks, so a lot has happened. They got swept by the Wolfpack. We won't talk about that, but they dropped the series, but it was a weird series this weekend with Florida State. Super close, extra innings. I think it was 11-inning game Friday night to lose by 1 run.
Right. We
win the second game, but it delayed, it
finished
was
the day.
Yeah, it finished that one today. And it was tight. And then we ended up winning by 3 runs.
Did you see the play? Did you see the play?
Yeah, I saw the play. If you haven't seen the play, tell them about it, Bailey.
Well, you can see Cantarella's catch first, and then you can see he hit a ball to left center. And he ended up scoring basically because he hit it. It's a great example to young kids. You hit it in the air. Okay, he think maybe I hit a home run, maybe I didn't. He is on a dead sprint from the time he hits it, and he is rounding second by the time the center fielder picks it up, who throws a good throw to the cutoff man, who then throws a good throw to the third baseman. The third baseman just whiffed it. The pitcher's doing his job and backing up the third base. And he gets it. Cantarella's on the way home, who falls down. Yeah. But the ball is now wet because it's pouring down rain. And he basically rolled, pops up and jumps and dives and tags home plate. And it was in a downpour at the time.
Yeah, it was great. It was. Is that an inside the park home run?
No, that's a throwing
It's a triple.
It's an error on the third baseman and an error on the pitcher.
Yeah. But a triple on the hit.
It's a triple.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. But we'll you know, if it was Little League, you'd tell all his friends at school Monday it was inside the park home run.
Darn right, we used to play Little League with no fence. Boy, if that right fielder or left fielder missed it, it's for you run, get all you can.
Going forever.
That thing will roll for days.
So they ended up losing the game today, or today's game, which was the third game of the series, like run rule. And that was the 8th inning by the time they got run rule, but it was just ugly. So I don't know. It was kind of a crazy series. Florida State is a really, really good team. So, we're not getting down on the Tigers.
It's baseball.
But the postseason is right around the corner. So hopefully we're going to make noise, we're going to beat teams like Florida State more than we lose to them. And we can. We definitely can. And I'm going to tell you, speaking of postseason baseball, I love the way they do the postseason, especially the first round with the 4 teams and the little double elimination tournament thing.
Tournament.
It's awesome. I think they should do basketball like that.
Clemson will host a regional and will be if they win that, will be a national host. They'll be one of the top 8 seeds.
Oh, Clemson, yes. I agree. And we'll play somebody really good.
They'll have a really good SEC team in here as the number 2 seed.
Kind of like, was it last year we played Tennessee?
It's been Tennessee. It's been Florida last year, I think.
Last year was Florida. That's right. Year before was Tennessee maybe or something. But, yeah. So it's going to be tough. It gets tough, which that's what it's not easy to win championships. They don't put championship rings on smooth hands, and nope. we got to be really, really good. And Coach Owen says have a little bit of luck too.
Correct.
Always helps. So, but they are definitely in position and a good enough team to do it. Also in really good position this year is our softball team. They finished second in the conference. They're seeded second. So softball is about to start the tournament. Their regular season's done. Baseball has one more home stand, by the way. They host Duke this coming weekend. So if you hadn't seen the baseball team, get out there and see them regular season. But softball's done, and they start Thursday at 5 o'clock. They play the winner. Who they play the winner? Virginia Louisville. All right.
Now, if you remember, softball started kind of slow.
They did.
And now they've turned it around. They have a win over the number 1 team in the country at the time, Tennessee.
Yep.
And it's good.
Yep, doing really well. So best of luck to those ladies, and get out and see them. Speaking of spring, we will be coming to you. We'll continue to come to you every other week. Hopefully we won't have to skip 3, but it works out since Mother's Day is next Sunday anyway. We'll do that through the spring and summer, and when football season rolls around, we'll be primed and ready to go for sure. So our next show will be the Sunday after Mother's Day. We're still looking for 2 more sponsors. So if you or someone who wants some exposure and support sharing of your social media, but does not want to spend a fortune, just have them reach out to us. So, got anything else, Bailey? I think that's it.
Nah, good show.
It's a great catch-up. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good show today.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. Get outside and awesome luck for the Tigers for postseason. Enjoy Mother's Day with your families. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media, and please share. Reach out to become a sponsor. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thrilla Entertainment, Greenville Sports Media, and Bailey Jackson.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers.